Greetings. I see they're still trying to harvest energy. Okay. Some people never learn, and that's what it is. However, the more I think about it, because you can't have this without that. If they're able to do this unalive magic, why aren't they able to do healing magic? I think that's too good for the people that they keep at a lower vibration, sick and in control. It's a control factor. So, I mean, when you have claims like Dolores Cannon's in 117 countries about her finding a way to heal anything, word for word, anything, nothing is impossible. If the mind is powerful enough to make you sick, it is powerful enough to heal you. And I agree, it's the law of mentalism and energy. The all is mind. And I think that's pretty much the power structures that are falling and the problems that they're having in the background. Right? They chose money over love, and love always wins. Love's intent to help or heal. You got to think, I mean, anytime I think about it, when Madame Takata and Dr. Hayachi first brought Reiki into America, it was during WW2. And it's kind of neat how all the puzzle pieces come together. We all know the story of the Harikari, the self-delete method that the samurais use when their honor has been tampered with. And that's what it was. They wanted Dr. Hayachi to be a traitor to Japan. Ooh, I saw Japan's getting some pretty serious earthquakes right now. Anyway, the whole point is they wanted him to be a traitor, give up information, right? And he refused. He refused because it was more important for America to have their birthright. I mean, Reiki is humanity's birthright. So it was more important for humanity to have their birthright than, to... And that's what it is. They shamed his family over in Japan, and it affected his honor. And Harikari, his solar plexus chakra, the power button. So anyway, we all know about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And that's the thing about Dolores Cannon, is that was when, Earth sent out the call for the 3 waves of volunteers, which brought the indigo, the crystal, and the rainbow children here. So, we forgot the most important part. Make a wish. It's just what it is, because I know how they're doing candle magic and summoning jinn and da-da-da-da-da. I don't give a shit about any of that. What I care about is 5-star reviews, and that's going to be the thing, right? If they're trying to cover up a huge global conspiracy, along with the list of children they've been banging on an island to do manifestations, don't you think they were manifesting better health for themselves? More money, more love, more light, more health, more wealth, more abundance. You think they were? It's just what it is. And then it's called occult knowledge because it's hidden. They keep you from knowing that. So with all these truths coming out and the entire matrix falling systematically, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult for us to trust in anything these people ever say again when we have these claims like what Dolores, because they tried to silence her. And anytime they put a silencer on things, because they don't want anyone to hear. They don't want anyone to hear about that. And I mean, Dolores Cannon was a hell of she was a cannon of pew-pews. She was the cannon of pew-pews. And that's that's the thing. It's just what it is. I mean, when you have the double-edged sword with Reiki, and I appreciate the text I got a few minutes ago when you said grasshopper. However, think about the whole point of Mr. Miyagi and Danielson, because see, that was the first thing that keyed me in to how they think you're stupid. And I say that with the utmost respect because I certainly don't think you're stupid. I just want to trigger you into being smarter. Is that going to piss people off? Well, hey, you got Pisces readers talking about the light is like moths to a flame. However, moths run into a flame, and this is what it is. They get toasted. So anyway, when I hear an instructor tell me that you don't want to work with the divine white light because it overheals, I've never heard of anything quite like overhealing, especially when you're removing jinn from humans just walking by them. So, I mean, do we really want people like Lee, that's really haunted in the UK, being tormented by demons? I like to chase them, but only so I can watch them glitch out inside a human. I get off on weird shit. Anyway, there's nothing like walking into a coffee shop, and you'll hear Pisces readers talking about how my energy, and I'm looking for others like me. And granted, there's probably not very many, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. The inner light miracle awakening of the INFJ, which you can find on Scott Morgan's channel. He's a licensed MBTI counselor. When he talks about the conscious, unconscious strangeness that others feel being around someone who seamlessly operates in two realms of consciousness at the same time, when you throw QHHT into that, past life regressions, and your past life wasn't in this fucking dimension, then chances are you're going to have some interdimensional oddness. You're going to have some interdimensional oddness, some strange occurrences, things happening that are just outside of the norm of regular reality. So, I mean, if you've got people talking about, jumping timelines and da 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 da, but they don't walk through the realms of spirituality like angels, demons, and jinn, then they're basically full of shit. Now, the fact that the United States government is doing UFO disclosure, if I remember correctly, and do your own research, I mean, Aleister Crowley, that's what he was known for with the Golden Dawn, was opening a portal and bringing a gray Paul, whatever you want to call it. And then Roswell started getting all kinds of weird sightings and da da da, because they were opening doors that they just shouldn't open. Now, the way Dolores explains it is changing the vibrational frequency. Think of a fan spinning real fast. The faster it spins, sooner or later it becomes invisible. Now, I don't understand this invisibility cloak that they're talking about with the Pisces. Like, is it like, have I left everyone behind? Have I just ascended completely out of the lower vibrational frequencies? It's just what it is. We want to vibrate higher. But the question remains, if you can have all of that energy of unalive magic, whatever happened to the healing magic? That's what it is. So they profit off the death of their people. That's why. They stick to the baneful magic, taking people out, insurance policies, things like that. However, it was neat to see CNN, because the news is now broadcasting across the planet 3 once in a lifetime catastrophic events in Texas at the same time. And I know what you ladies say about how death comes in threes. Death comes in threes. I wouldn't. They were probably thinking death meant like one. No. Death comes in threes with 3 catastrophic events in Texas, because I hear they tried to unalive an Earth Angel. Yes, Daisy. I hear they tried to unalive an Earth Angel. So I figured in gratitude to the angels, we would do an oracle reading. I think it's most appropriate at this time. And yeah, I mean, as this dark structure of bullshit begins to fall, it's just what it is. I mean, when I get a velvet ant out there on the patio, which is basically known as a cow killer ant, and didn't we just have at the end of spring, didn't we have a rodeo horse get taken out by bees? I would think that if you were getting beehive in the cards, and you were getting rodeo horses, and they say that Pisces ancestors don't play. when you were able to pick up the colors Brown and TJ, my uncle TJ Brown was known as the meanest man in Natural Dam. He was a constable at one time, broke horses, rodeo horses, in three different states: Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma. Anyway, I can remember them telling me at one time, his logo. You ever see the blanket with the cowboy riding the bareback bronc? Because that's what he did. He did bareback bronc. He's a bronc buster. Anyway, so using that logo, I saw Spirit sent me in the algorithm the guy that is the NBA logo. He's playing basketball, and they used his adaptation as the logo. That was the story around TJ Brown, and they made a lot of enemies. A lot of enemies. Cowboys made a lot of enemies, especially when you were known as the meanest man in Natural Dam. I mean, I can remember going to the state fair in Dallas, and I see a guy that was basically from the same area, and I was like, "Hey, do you know TJ Brown?" I was happy. They talk about Pisces being able to see through people. So it is. I was super happy. I was like, "Hey, do you know TJ Brown?" He's like, "Yeah, why?" I was like, "That's my uncle." He's like, "I wouldn't ever tell anyone that if I were you." And I don't listen to other people. I don't do what they say. It's what it is. I mean, I can't do anything about that. However, yes, you're talking about an individual that as he was passing, handle this situation with love. I agree. So as he was passing, he made phone calls to the family like, "Hey, I need you to come to the house and get all of my pew-pews out of the house. I'm hearing voices. I'm seeing shit. I'm seeing jinn." And I mean, they're called the Natural Dam Jinn for a reason. It's due to improper burial rites. So, vengeful ghosts and things of that nature. So, I mean, you got to keep in mind is they kept control over the natives on that land with alcohol. And that's what it is. They were bootleggers and moonshiners. So, in that area, I mean, there's that house that they're talking about that the government wants. Da 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 da. So it's a timber reserve for the federal government. That inheritance that everyone's trying to steal, yeah, it's a timber reserve for the American government, federal. So when you think about the history back then, the stories they told me was, they would line the natives up. Grandpa wanted a creek. He wanted a rock house. So there was a creek with lots of rocks. But to get the rocks to build a fucking house up this huge hill, what they did was they lined the tribal members in that area because they had an alcohol addiction. They had an addiction to alcohol. And wouldn't you know, here I am, the Pisces sun, Leo rising, fire, Gemini, moonshine. And it is. I mean, the energy affects people in ways they don't understand. And that's fine. That's fine. However, to break those types of curses, I would need to tell you that the energy is addictive, because I guess that's kind of the, why you're put in a family like that. Because the story goes, they would stand one person down by the creek, one up where they wanted to build the house. And then they would line natives with an alcohol addiction, allergy, whatever you want to call it. They would line them up and go down to the creek, pick up a rock, get a swig, carry it up, drop that shit. We'll give you another swig to go back down there and get another rock. So, death comes in threes when Pisces ancestors come on the scene, and there's nothing I can really do about that. I mean, shout out prayers to Camp Mystic, all of that fun stuff. I mean, we're putting puzzle pieces together based on greed, and that's what it is. I mean, as sad as that is to say, I mean, I can remember when Love, Light, and Truth just didn't do it for these people because they believed in the dark. They believed in being unaware, being professionally unaware half-wits. Because, I mean, if you're left or right-handed, you're an absolute half-wit professional. So I can't do much about that. But I do know that if they're trying to silence you, it's for a reason, because that's what a silencer is. You put it on your pew-pew so no one can hear. So no one can hear it. She wants to be heard. Daisy wants to be heard. Just like Dolores Cannon wanted to be heard. And that's the thing is, I mean, if we're going to be dealing with the three waves of volunteers who have abilities, who do the work, who have the quest for knowledge, who are ascending into the fifth dimension and higher and higher. We want to make absolutely sure that it's understood. I mean, yes, we're shining bright like a diamond. However, that shit is hard as a diamond. So, trying to take Pisces spiritual protection cost them theirs. What they wanted for Pisces has gone back on them. And it's very simple. I mean, whatever they did to get the results that they got, just stop doing that and you'll get something better. It's what it is. It's positive or negative. It's what it is. What you put out comes back to you. Simple enough. I get truth, I give truth. So thank you for the truth that you have given me. And I hope that enlightens some people. It's just what it is. Daisy's going to give us a hard time. It's just, she's a puppy. She doesn't know any better. She probably does, but she doesn't care. It's so much fun with this dog. You always remember, anytime you think of John Wick's dog, think of Pushing Up Daisy. And it's just what it is. It's what it is. And she's protected by angels. There's angelic Reiki for dogs. I mean, come on. That was the double-edged sword that I was talking about when they try to hide Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san. And if you've never seen The Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi says it. He goes, Daniel's like, oh, how did you do that? It doesn't hurt anymore, Mr. Miyagi. He goes, oh, Japanese healing modality, Reiki. Right? And then they make it all supernatural and shit when it's your natural human ability to heal yourself and others. They just don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. That's why they put the sci-fi exterior over top of it and keep you away from your supernatural abilities. So that's what it is. Use the Force, Luke. God us all that is, angels, archangels, ascended master of the divine white light. Ask it to be a clear and infinite channel for your wisdom at this time for myself, as well as those I do readings for. Namaste. It's one thing. I mean, they've got all of this demon and jinn magic that's not been very possible for them. What can you do with angel magic? Never thought about that one now, have we? Love's intent to protect, help, or heal. So, it's just what it is. But you got to think the double-edged sword to that, as the story goes and the tradition, was Mikao Yasui, right? When he set out and did a 21-day fast to tap back into the healing ability that Jesus possessed so long ago. That's what it is. Had a third eye awakening, tapped into the Akashic records, got the information. And as he was coming down the hill, thank you for the silence. As he was coming down the hill, he stubbed his toe, reached down, stopped the bleeding. Congratulations. Got down after a 21-day fast, ate an entire full meal, and had no stomach ache from the situation after a 21-day fast. The woman that was serving him the food had a toothache. He reached up and placed his hand on her cheek, and the tooth pain went away. Now, me, I went through a toothache and used Reiki for tooth pain, so that shit almost fell out. So, and it's like we were talking earlier, them harvesting Pisces spiritual energy or spiritual protection or Kundalini energy for creativity and manifestation, whatever they did, if they were doing moon magic and doing moon cycles, now me, I'm not a woman, but I do understand, having daughters, what a moon cycle is. Makes me wonder, how many Pisces females did they affect with moon magic? Going through moon cycles. No wonder y'all been through hell and back. I just saw something about they're wanting to stop reproduction or whatever. They're running out of baby formula. Well, hell, in America, if they've been doing death magic and moon magic and shit on Pisces, how many of you? Let us know in the comments. And I know that's kind of a personal thing to ask, but has their moon magic affected your moon cycle? Something to explore, isn't it? Maybe that didn't come out right. It's just, it's fucking, the thought behind it is something to explore, isn't it? Thank you, Spirit. It's just what it is. Anyway, double-edged sword. Mikao Yasui took Reiki, humanity's birthright, to the beggars, right? What did he end up with? A bunch of healthy beggars. They preferred to beg. That's just who they were. They're panhandlers, beggars. Now they were healthy. They had more energy to run out and panhandle. Okay, great. That's what it is. So he decided, okay, cool. So we'll just make a first level attunement. Thank you, Spirit. 10 grand 600 years ago. Imagine 10 grand 600 years ago, right? For the emperors, for the elites. What happened? You ended up with an emperor that could channel Kundalini energy. He had plant Reiki, he had animal Reiki, which gave him the best yields for the crops, the healthiest livestock, and enough energy to father thousands of children with over 100 wives. Thank you. So then it became the traditional one-on-one, the Kung Fu master, Grasshopper, Mr. Miyagi and Danielson. That's what it is. You got to think, when the warriors went to battle, how the hell did they heal themselves? They had to learn the healing arts before they learned the martial arts. Does America do that? Hell no, they do it backwards. That's what it is. They teach how to beat the shit out of each other, but then you have to rely on a personal trainer and someone else to do the healing. That's what it is. They've gotten completely out of the tradition of things. Some people haven't, but that's what it is. Thank you, Spirit. So, yeah, thank you for the information. I get information, I give information. Thank you, Spirit. It's just what it is. Right? And I mean, when you're talking about Dolores Cannon, she regrew cartilage in a woman's knee. A doctor comes up to her after one of her conferences with an x-ray. He says, "How did you do this?" "This is impossible." She says, "Yeah, well, I work with the higher consciousness. I work with God consciousness. What can God not do? Nothing is impossible." Why? You have all of these, I call them outfits. They're trying to cloak themselves. And it's why there's no competition for Dolores Cannon. Left brain, right brain, subconscious mind. It's the thing. She was afraid people could abuse her technique. Angel said, "Why? We won't work with them." It's simple enough, right? And it's very hard to say that, "Oh, well, we don't believe in aliens and we don't believe in angels and we don't believe in any of that shit." Cool, go talk to the White House doing UFO disclosure right now, because they understand they're getting karma and under judgment. So, what do we currently have? SpaghettiOs, fluidity. Fluidity is upside down. Now we'll turn it upside right. It looks like a boat floating down the river with some fluidity, doesn't it? Weren't we just talking about death comes in threes with karma? That's what it is. I can't do anything about that. Texas is announcing 3 of the most catastrophic events that they've ever seen. And the first thing I thought was, did they try to sacrifice an earth angel to the devil? That's what it is. I can't do anything about that. Energy from the past. Discovery. Yeah, what are we discovering? What kind of knowledge? Oh, what are we seeing in the stairway to heaven with a bird's eye view? Shout out to whoever left the comment about a bird flying out of my mouth. That was some funny shit. She's got the zoomies. That's funny too. There's nothing like a chihuahua with zoomies. Anyway, it's like a giant guinea pig running around the house, just over the furniture, over the river, and through the woods. Anyway. So we're discovering knowledge that has been kept from you. It's called occult knowledge for a reason. That means hidden. They hid the earth angel in plain sight that is walking with God. Amun Ra means hidden God. Let Daisy tell you. Freedom. Yeah, freedom is upside down. So that's what it is. However, Daisy. Come on, do it again. It's Friday night. I live in the Friday night neighborhood. Anyway, let's start since Daisy. Come here. Daisy. Let's start with the current affair of fluidity, since that seems to be the current affair currently. So it is. Fluidity. Fluidity It is vital for good health to keep our thoughts moving freely, like a swift running stream. If we let ourselves dwell on mundane concerns, our emotions can become blocked and our spirit can become disconnected from the flow of universal energy. These blockages can even lead to physical disease. The angel of fluidity advises you to focus on the good things in life, to keep the currents of positive energy flowing through your being. If negative thoughts arise, halt them by saying stop in your mind. To lift your spirit, sit back for a few minutes and focus on your breathing. Recall a happy occasion, the sights, sounds, and smells, and how good you felt. Hold that feeling and let it flow through every part of your body. I allow myself to flow with ease in the universal river of life. Symbols: flowing river, leaf in stream, wind in trees, breathing, and cat. Meow. A lot of Lyran energy in the cards, isn't there? A lot of Egyptian cat energy in the cards. Interesting. Freedom! We'll save that for last. Over here to Discovery of the Past. Discovery of the Past. Look at that. One page back. Discovery, one page back. Regardless of age or level of knowledge, making discoveries about yourself and the world can awaken your sense of awe and wonder at the universe. The Angel of Discovery encourages you to keep your mind open to fresh information and experiences at all times. Ask the angel to provide opportunities for you to visit new places, meet new people, and try your hand at new activities. Call on her to enhance your senses so that your sight becomes clear and your hearing sharper. Ask her to show you how to act in a more loving and conscious way, to benefit yourself and the environment. In this way, you will enrich your soul and climb to new heights of inspiration. My life is a wonderful journey of discovery. Symbols: flight of stairs, map, star, boat, open door, magnifying glass, and book. Now to freedom. Even though it's kind of upside down, on to freedom. Justice. Anyway, moving over here to freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom. And I would assume, since that is the energy that's in the cards, is with God balancing out every aspect of the Earth Angel's life in love, light, health, wealth, and abundance. It's just what it is. The energy from this point forward is to focus on the self. That's what it is. Simple enough, right? Everyone is responsible for their own love, light, health, wealth, and abundance. And that's where people are getting pissed. My energy has been harvested for so long. When I'm calling it back, it just clears everything right out. You've got reader after reader talking about near-death experiences and past life regressions. And I thought, well, are they talking about my 3 NDEs and the 3 QHHT sessions that I've had? Granted, the first one, I blocked myself with Mr. Stupid. That's why I have absolutely no problem talking about Dolores Cannon's Mr. Stupid. And if you look at if your left brain logical thinkers, that basically everyone has been, they don't believe in God. They don't believe in a higher self. They can't figure out what the hell is happening. But yet even the QHHT technique works on them. You just have to work harder with them. Imagine that. Imagine that. Get results from left brain thinkers just like everyone else, because no one's any different. You just have to try harder. You have to work harder with people that are logical. They don't believe in imagination. Freedom! And that's the biggest key to the law of mentalism. It doesn't matter what you believe, you are correct. Creating your own reality, if you believe in something, you're correct. That's why that's what Dolores said, trying to force beliefs onto people. We're not here to convert anyone, right? They can see the fucking light. They've got their own, and there's no conversion in that. They see the light. They're on the fence. They either go to hell or to heaven. They either ascend or they descend. Simple enough. Our job, people on the fence. Oh, I want to work on my abilities. Cool, line's over here. Oh, I don't believe in that shit. Cool, you're already there. You're already where? You're already in camp. You're no longer in Wonderland. Or you are in Wonderland. One or the other. You're wandering around. Oh, wonder what the hell's going on. That's called in the dark. Freedom! Despite the constraints of everyday life, we all have our free will, and exercising it can be an essential part of our spiritual journey. Freedom can feel risky and involves your taking responsibility for everything that you say or do. However, turning away from freedom and staying within safe limits or letting anyone else control your actions or thinking will restrict you as a person. What they want for the divine is what they want for themselves. It's what's got them so mad right now. Every time they try to do something, shit doesn't work. Well, yeah, because whatever they're trying to do to the divine light's what they're doing to themselves. Pray for the divine white light. Chances are your prayers will be answered. Pray against the divine blocks you at every turn. And we can't figure out why it's not working. Because everything you do to the divine, you're doing to the divine within you. Oh, well, maybe if I stop doing that, things will get better. Congratulations, you just learned something. The angel of freedom shows you that you have a choice to act with love in life or to react in fear. Trust your intuition. Ask the angel for the courage to follow your heart, to break free from restrictions and to soar high, acting out of love for both yourself and others. Take the opportunities that the angel sends and give thanks for her help. I choose to be free, to be my true self. Symbols: green field, bird, blackbird, dolphin, space, high mountain. That's what it is. I mean, you're gonna think with the White House doing UFO disclosure. That's what it is. Why didn't they do a MUFON disclosure since the 60s? Well, who is MUFON? Non-biased researchers. Let's pick an angel, shall we? Ruff! Ruff! Raphael. Ruff! Ruff! We have our own language. It's true. It's true. You just saw it. Raphael. Raphael, God has healed. Of Shaladin origin, originally called Labiel. Raphael is one of the three great angels in post-biblical lore. He first appears in the Book of Tobit, a work external to the Hebrew canon. Archetypical in Protestant scripture, canonical in Catholic. In the Book of Tobit, Raphael acts as companion and guide to Tobit's son, Tobias, who journeys to Media. It's probably Medea, but aren't we talking? I just saw Woodward talking about how the news casts spells on people. Well, yeah, it stands for north, east, west, and south for a reason. They got you at all four corners. Media from Nevaeh. Oh, that's the opposite of heaven. It is only at the end of the journey that Raphael reveals himself by name as one of the 7 holy angels that attend the throne of God. In Enoch 1:20, Raphael is declared to be one of the Watchers. In Enoch 1:22, Raphael is a guide in Sheol. In Enoch 140, he is one of the four presences set over all the diseases and all the wounds of the children of men. Thank you, Daisy. Raphael is charged to heal the earth, and through him the earth furnishes an abode for man, whom also he heals of all his maladies. According to Gematria and Ioma, Raphael is one of the three angels that visited Abraham. Genesis 18. The other two angels, identified usually as Gabriel and Michael, Raphael is credited also with healing Abraham of the pain of circumcision. Enough said there. The patriarch having neglected to observe this rite earlier in life. The Legends of the Jews 1:385. Raphael is the angel sent by God to cure Jacob of the injury to his thigh when Jacob wrestled with his dark adversary at Peniel. The adversary having been identified variously as Michael, Metatron, Uriel, Samuel, or God himself. Another legend, Sephar Noah, claims it was Raphael who handed Noah, after the flood, a medical book, which may have been the famous Sephar Raziel, the book of the angel Raziel. Of the sun. Among other high offices, Raphael is the regent of the sun. Longfellow refers to him as the angel of the sun, chief of the order of virtues. Alarm clock. Time to wake up. Governor of the south, guardian of the west, ruling prince of the second heaven, overseer of the evening winds, guardian of the tree of life in the Garden of Eden, one of the six angels of repentance, angel of prayer, love, joy, and light. Above all, he is, and his name denotes, the angel of healing. Ancient Greek god of healing. He is also the angel of science and knowledge, and the preceptor angel of Isaac. The Magnus II. Raphael belongs to at least four of the celestial orders. Seraphim. Didn't these ladies say that there's a seraphim in human form on your planet? Is that true? Y'all got seraphims in human form waking up on the planet? Wow, that's pretty cool. Cherub dominions or dominations, powers, according to Trimethius of Spanhiel, the 15th century occultist. Raphael is one of the 7 angels of the apocalypse. He is also numbered among the 10 holy Seraphoth, and while he is not specifically named as the angel who troubled the waters at the pool in ancient Bethesda, he is generally so credited. The vampire in Europe. R.F. Summers, the vampire in Europe. Curiously enough, because perhaps Raphael has been called a guide in hell. An Arfrit diagram represents Raphael as a terrestrial daemon with a beast-like form, and is associated with 3 other angels, Michael, Suriel, and Gabriel in the name guise, legitimate forerunners and rivals of Christianity, in the canvases of such masters as Bianciani, Loran, Pallarjudo, Gurliano, Titan, and Rembrandt. The secret behind the logos will blow your mind. What is a logo? What is a brand? Why do people wear brands? So the shepherd can keep stock of his sheep. Raphael is variously pictured holding a pilgrim's staff and a fish, as a winged saint supping with Adam and Eve in the sociable Archangel. So, everyone, enjoy your weekend. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, donate, do all that fun stuff. Do all that fun stuff. Let's let's take this whole lesson that we have got, that these readers keep talking about, as death in threes. That's what it is. My question is if we've had 3 catastrophes in Texas alone, where else did what you put out go back to you? That's what it is. Namaste.